What would you do to your mother-in-law if she poisoned you with wild mushrooms? Last Sunday at family dinner, my mother-in-law walked out of the kitchen carrying a huge bowl of risotto. "I made something special tonight," she announced. "Wild mushroom risotto with mushrooms I foraged myself." Everyone at the table got excited except me. I'd heard stories of people dying from misidentified mushrooms. She started serving everyone, and when she got to me, she piled an enormous portion from the very edge onto my plate. "You're going to love this." I stared at the plate. "Oh, I'm actually not that hungry." Her face changed immediately. "What do you mean you're not hungry? I made this especially for you." My husband kicked me under the table. "Just try it, babe. My mom knows what she's doing." Everyone else was already eating and saying how delicious it was. My father-in-law looked at me. "You're being rude. She spent all afternoon on this." I picked up my fork and took a small bite. It tasted fine. My mother-in-law watched me from across the table with this intense look on her face. "Have more. Don't be shy." I forced down a few more bites while she kept staring. "Isn't it amazing? I picked these myself just yesterday." I nodded and tried to look grateful. She kept pushing. "Finish your plate. There's plenty more if you want seconds." I ate about half of what she gave me before I couldn't take anymore. A few hours later at home, I started feeling sick. Really sick. I was vomiting so violently I couldn't stand up. My husband found me on the bathroom floor. "We need to go to the hospital right now." At the emergency room, I could barely talk. The doctor asked what I'd eaten. When I mentioned wild mushrooms, his entire face changed. "How long ago?" They admitted me immediately. Over the next few hours, I got worse. My liver enzymes were through the roof. A toxicologist came in and started asking detailed questions about the mushrooms. What did they look like? Where were they foraged? How were they prepared? I didn't know any of the answers. My husband called his mother. I could hear him on the phone in the hallway. "Mom, what kind of mushrooms were in the risotto? She's really sick. The doctors need to know." I heard him go quiet. Then his voice got louder. "What do you mean it couldn't be the mushrooms? Nobody else got sick. Only her." The doctors told me my organs were starting to fail. If they couldn't identify the specific toxin, I might die. I spent 6 days in the hospital. They had to give me emergency treatments to try to save my liver. I survived, but the doctors told me I had permanent damage. I'd probably have health problems for the rest of my life. My husband finally got his mother to admit what mushrooms she'd used. The toxicologist identified them as death caps, one of the most poisonous mushrooms in the world. Even a small amount can kill you. When my mother-in-law came to visit me in the hospital, she acted like it was a tragic accident. I've been foraging for decades. I've never made a mistake like this. I don't know how it happened. But something felt wrong. My husband started asking questions. He drove out to the woods where his mother claimed she'd picked the mushrooms. There were no death caps growing there. He went through her house while she was at work. In her bedroom, he found a mushroom identification book with death cap mushrooms circled in red pen. Then he found her phone. There was a text to his aunt from the day before the dinner. "I'm finally going to show her she's not good enough for my son." He came back to the hospital and showed me the text. We both just stared at it. He confronted his mother that night. At first, she